Have you ever noticed how people who grew up in the 1970s are different? They don't complain much, they don't overshare, and they don't chase validation. They survived without smartphones, without social media, without instant comfort, and yet, they built strong families, deep friendships, and quiet resilience. Today, we're not just talking about nostalgia. We're decoding the psychology of a generation shaped by scarcity, discipline, silence, and strength. This is the story of people who learned life the hard way. People who grew up in the 1970s didn't have options. They had adjustment. No instant food delivery. No mental health conversations. No follow your passion speeches. Psychologically, this created high frustration tolerance. They learned early that discomfort is normal, not something to escape from. Children of the 70s learned to wait, to sacrifice, and to manage disappointment. This is why many of them are calm during crises. Their nervous system is trained for survival, not panic. In the 1970s, emotions were not discussed, they were managed internally. If you cried, you were told to be strong. If you failed, you were told to try harder. If you were hurt, you were told to endure. Psychologically, this created emotionally reserved adults. They feel deeply, but express minimally. They love fiercely, but show it quietly. This is why they may appear emotionally distant, but are actually emotionally loyal. The 1970s offered very little instant pleasure. Entertainment was limited. Success took time. Rewards were delayed. This trained their brains to function on discipline, not dopamine. Modern psychology shows that people raised without constant stimulation develop better focus, stronger patience, long-term thinking. That's why many people from this generation can work tirelessly without burnout. They weren't raised on instant gratification. Authority was not questioned, it was respected. Parents, teachers, elders, they weren't debated with. This shaped a psychology of structure and order. They learned to listen before speaking, to observe before reacting, to earn respect instead of demanding it. This is why people from the 70s often struggle with modern casual disrespect. It goes against their core psychological wiring. Food wasn't wasted. Money wasn't wasted. Time wasn't wasted. This generation developed a scarcity-based mindset, not because they were poor, but because they were taught value. Psychologically, this created financial caution, emotional restraint, deep appreciation for small things. That's why they find joy in simplicity, not luxury. People from the 1970s rarely say "I love you." But they show love by providing, protecting, staying consistent. Their psychology connects love with responsibility, not expression. This often causes misunderstanding with younger generations who expect verbal validation instead of silent commitment. Here's the truth no one talks about. This generation carried emotional burdens alone, family responsibilities early, unprocessed trauma silently. Psychologically, many of them are strong on the outside but emotionally exhausted inside. They didn't get the chance to heal, they only learned to endure. From the 1970s generation, we learn strength doesn't need noise. Discipline beats motivation. Loyalty matters more than attention. Silence can hold wisdom. They remind us that resilience isn't trendy, it's trained. People who grew up in the 1970s didn't have easy lives, they had meaningful ones. They didn't ask, "Is this comfortable?" They asked, "Is this necessary?" If you know someone from this generation, respect them. If you are from this generation, your strength deserves recognition. Because not all heroes are loud. Some are quietly unbreakable. Understanding the past helps us understand ourselves. This was MindForge, where thoughts are shaped, not rushed. Like and subscribe.